No Chill Sports is an unapologetic, high-energy sports show where opinions fly fast and facts hit hard. The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the hosts and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of any affiliated networks, sponsors, or partners. Content may include passionate debates, bold predictions, and unfiltered takes that some viewers may find intense or controversial. Listener discretion is advised. If you're looking for chill, this ain't the place.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Rant with Pough Ant. Well, the mic stay hot, the takes are bold, the truth is unfiltered, no scripts, just two voices bringing the heat with heart, real, raw, and unapologetically honest. And today we definitely need some honesty. What's good with you, my boy?
Nah, I'm good, bro. Chilling. Can't complain. Everything good on my end. What about you?
Hey, I'm good, man. My team won yesterday. We battling for first place in the Big 12, so I'm gonna stick with that. Um, that's the mindset I'm gonna have to approach things with for a while. So yeah, man. But definitely some things of interest. A lot of coaches, several coaches have been fired. Um, I know of one more that we might be hearing about tomorrow in the FCS side, on the HBCU side. Hate to see it happen, but yeah. So but man, we got a lot to get to. A lot to get to. NFL today, man, what a day. What a day. It's been some games, bro. Even the game early this morning over in, I don't know what it was playing across the pond. That game was a blowout, but it still was fun to watch.
History made in that game.
It was, man. Ironically, the person who had the record before was also in that game. So it's interesting. Yeah. But let's go ahead and get to it, man. But first, you know what we gotta do? We give a shout out to our sponsors over at Kelly Creations. Kelly Creations, we'll be right back in 1 minute.
Your brand deserves more than basic. It deserves bold. It deserves clean. It deserves Kelly Creations. From screen prints that pop, to embroidery that speaks volumes, to picture tees that tell your story, Donald D.K. Kelly does it all. Give him a call today at 225-202-2625 or shoot him an email at kellycreations225@gmail.com. That's KELLYKREATIONS 225@gmail.com. And don't forget to tell them No Chill Sports sent you. Kelly Creations. Nobody does it better.
All right, we are back. Man, let's go ahead and jump into it, man. Recap some of the games from this weekend. First game, man, and it was a doozy on a Friday night as we watched Louisville take on Miami. and Louisville got the win 24-21 in a game of to try to, I guess, establish some ACC separation. And Miami did a Miami. Cristobal definitely did a Cristobal. We've seen this year after year, where in a game where they should win, where they come in looking like one of the best teams in the nation. They find a way to squander that and make everybody really think what the hell is really going on.
Yeah, I think it's a pattern for him, but it's also a pattern it seems like for these weekday ACC matchups. I mean, back 15, 20 years ago, it used to be those Big East matchups during the week, going to Virginia Tech or, you know what I'm saying, places like that during the week where teams would slip up. And it seems like that's done followed some of those Big East teams to the ACC. I mean, earlier in the year, it was Florida State losing to Virginia. Everybody was kind of shocked by this year. I mean, this week, you got Louisville going down to Miami and knocking them off. So I think it's not only a Cristobal thing, but it seems like some of these ACC teams kind of sleepwalk during these weeknight games, and they end up losing games that they probably shouldn't lose in most people's eyes. But I think the big thing in this game was Carson Beck performance for me. He uh he he didn't look like the Carson Beck we've seen through the first 6-7 weeks of the season. He looked like a freshman out there. 4 interceptions. You're not gonna beat too many good teams with a performance like that. So I think if you Miami, you kind of back to the drawing board a little bit on the offensive side because you got to kind of rein him in a little bit, I would think. But they really can't run the ball all that well either. So maybe Miami isn't as complete of a team as we thought they were because this game definitely exposed some things about the Hurricanes.
Yeah. 4 interception would have been five, not for a penalty. Uh, Carson Beck, man, he was at one point, probably last week, if not the week before, looked at as a Heisman favorite.
Hmm.
Uh, and it's crazy because we've said and we've seen that uh, September Heisman winners are usually don't even make it to New York. Uh, we've seen Leonard Fournette, we've seen Hendon Hooker. Oh man, I can. Ooh, the list goes on and on and on. Uh, but yeah, man, the game itself. I do want to say this bright spot. That dude Malachi Tony
Yeah.
is freaking phenomenal. Um,
And on the other side of the ball, Ruben Bain is
yeah,
everything
yeah,
he's advertised to be.
yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. They've got players, they've got people in place, and it's just I don't think this is the end for Miami. Hopefully they can bounce back. We all know that nobody's going undefeated. Um, well, we don't think it doesn't look like it. I think those days are long gone. On the other side of things, Louisville, Bell, man, what a remarkable game he had. Wide receiver for Louisville. The kid was just he was phenomenal. He stepped up big and he made plays to make sure that Louisville stayed up front and stayed um, fought off a comeback, a good comeback at that. Um, but yeah, man, I hadn't even looked at what the top 25 or top whatever looks like right now. I don't know how far Miami dropped. I hope they didn't drop too far. I also think that Louisville should be ranked or should have been ranked prior to this game. But yeah,
Yeah, I think you mentioned Bell. I think the for running back for Louisville kind of got the spotlight put on him. But he's been doing that last year and this year. Isaac Brown, he's probably one of the
right.
best running backs in the country. I felt like he was under the radar, kind of not getting the attention and notoriety he deserved. But I mean, he didn't score in this game, but he I think 115, 20 yards, something like that. So still solid on the ground.
113. Yeah, 113.
Yeah, so I mean, still respectable on the ground, but I do think I do think Miami is still a damn good team, but like I said, I don't think that they're as unbeatable or as complete of a team as I once thought they were. But they dropped 9, I think, in the top 25 now, and Louisville is in the top 25. They're actually in the top 20, so I think that's deserving for both squads.
Yeah, completely agree. Next game on the docket. This was also a really good game, and the way it ended was just like I wonder if they got some magic going on. Georgia
Hmm.
versus Ole Miss, Ole Miss versus Georgia. There was some trolling, of course, going on early in the week with Lane and stuff, and Lane being Lane. And I'm gonna be honest, man. Ole Miss came out and looked really good against Georgia. They came out and opened things up, but then one or two mistakes here or there, and Georgia took advantage. But I say that Georgia has a little magic, a little luck because they've been able to survive 2 weeks in a row. Was that last week they played Auburn? I think that was right
Yeah, that was last week. Yeah.
last week. Yeah, so they've been able to survive 2 weeks in a row. Um, Last week, man, we ain't talked, but Auburn was robbed, and I just but anywho, um, yeah,
I I don't I ain't gonna I guess you could say they survived, but I think Georgia did what they did to Tennessee kind of. Um they flexed their muscle in the second half really, and that was the difference in the ball game really. I mean, Georgia scored 21 in the first half, scored 14 in the third quarter, didn't score at all in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Georgia scored 17 in the fourth quarter. So I mean,
mhm,
they flexed their muscles, and when they got going, and Gunner kind of started clicking on offense late in the game, they did what Georgia did to Tennessee, pretty much just avalanched them. But the difference to me, but in this game, Georgia had like 220 rushing, and I think Ole Miss had like 80 something yards rushing. So that's kind of a similar script to what we saw Georgia versus Tennessee. So I think and whenever Georgia can run the ball like that, I think they'll find ways to win the game, especially in close ball games, because they can take the air out of the ball a little bit and just lean on their running game. And they did it with multiple guys. It's not like they just leaning on one guy to go for 150, 160 yards. So I think when they got that running game going, they're gonna be hard to beat. But that Georgia defense isn't what it has been in the past by any means. And Ole Miss was a play or two away from really winning this game. Partly, I think quarterback left a few plays on the field, but then Georgia kind of knew they were one dimensional, so they was forcing him to beat them. And like I said, he left one too many plays on the field. So at the end of the day, you can't ask that guy to go beat Georgia by itself. You got to have some complementary football on that offensive side, and it just wasn't there yesterday for Ole Miss.
yeah. The score going into the fourth quarter was 35-26, 9 point lead. This has to be Scott Van Pelt bad beat because it was a 7.5, and they lost by 8.
Yeah,
So yeah. Also, yes. So Georgia had 221 on the ground. to Ole Miss is 88. Nobody had more than 70 yards rushing for Georgia, but they had 3 guys with double-digit carries, including Gunnar
Yeah.
Stockton. So yeah, he found a way to be very productive through the air. 26 of 31, 289 yards, and 4 touchdowns. On the other side, Trinidad Chambers, he was 19 of 36 for 263 and 1 touchdown. Still not a bad day. However, um, as I stated before, you gotta kind of be mistake free to when you go into Athens. He did add. I do want to throw in there. He did add 42 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns, and then Lacey also had 2 touchdowns. So yeah, yeah. But as far as standings for the SEC, if we're looking at actually, you know what? Before we get there, before I ask that question, let's keep going. Um, look at some of the other games. You got anything else on this game?
Nah.
All right, let's move on. Um, the third Saturday in October. We all know what that is, whether we like it or not. It's Tennessee versus Alabama. Smoke them if you got them. And Alabama ended up smoking them. They got the win over Tennessee, and in a game that was honestly wasn't close after the coin toss. Honestly,
I think the game completely changed right before halftime when I'm sorry, when Tennessee is driving the score right before half. I think it was what 17-7, something like that. Um, when Tennessee was driving to close the gap, Alabama gets the pick six, 99 yard, 100 yard pick six right before halftime and pushes it to a 3-score game. It
yeah,
was over after that.
yeah, 23. It was 16 to not
16 to
16.
7. Okay, yeah.
It was 16-7, and then through that and that pick, and it was 23-7 at half. So yeah, that
Yeah.
that game flipped instantly. Yeah, because at that point, I'm trying to find it, the actual. Yeah, so when that happened, there was they didn't have much. Uh, it was a 22.9% win probability. After they threw that pick, it dropped to a 6.2% win probability. So yeah, they were already up against it. They came in. Tennessee came in like playing flat, and Alabama came in hitting on all cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tennessee did well on the ground. Ran for 142. Bama ran for 120. But most of Tennessee's yardage was on the back of Deshaun Bishop. Uh, other than that, man, there was nothing going. Alabama could do whatever they wanted to, whenever they wanted to. Their defense was in the backfield all night. Um,
I
Aguilar was
mean,
running.
okay.
No, I was just saying that man at one point felt like he was seeing ghosts. So,
I mean, the- if you just kind of look at the box score,
mm-hmm.
it don't look like
Like this,
Alabama
it wasn't.
won.
It don't look
Alabama won by
domination.
3
Yeah,
positions. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But that's
yeah.
why I say that the one turnover that Tennessee had was a 14-point swing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take that turnover, that 14-point swing away, excuse me, it's a 3 possession game. I mean, it's a 3-point game. Alabama won by 17. You know what I mean? So it's a real big difference, bro.
Yeah. Gary chimes in and says, it seems like every team um, can seem to get better as the season goes along, except for LSU over the BK era. We're gonna get there, Gary. I understand. I do understand. Hang in there. Hang in there. But yeah, but he's absolutely right. Bama looked terrible in week one. Uh, had a lot of they looked lackadaisical, didn't look
Mm-hmm.
physical, looked like it looked like there was a big culture issue, since that's the
Mm-hmm.
word of the day. Uh, there's a huge culture issue, and then all of a sudden things changed. They got it together. They've been clicking on all cylinders. Games that were like, okay, Alabama might go down, and they've shown up, and it's handled it with grace and moved on. Um, Tennessee, on the other hand, this was a game where they looked, they just looked bad, bro. They hadn't looked the same since that Georgia game.
Mm-hmm.
They usually,
I think Georgia took their wheels this year, man.
yeah. So it's usually the conversation of don't let a team beat you twice. And
Mm-hmm.
it's I mean, don't get me wrong, they've had 3 games in between there, but they beat Mississippi State by a touchdown. They were favored by like 20. They beat Arkansas by 3 points. They were favored by like 20 then. They were double digit favorite in both games, and they escaped those games. They go to Alabama and come out flat. So I don't know. They've got Kentucky, Oklahoma, um, I'm not New Mexico State, Florida, and then Vandy at the end of the season. Realistically speaking, they can lose 2 more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it's some got to shake. They're gonna have to bounce back.
I mean, if
Some got
you talk about narrowly escaping, the Arkansas game was a win for Tennessee, but I mean, it ain't like they just went in there and took care of business, So
yeah,
they've been struggling, like you say, ever since that Georgia game.
yeah. They won that with Arkansas. That was the same week Arkansas let go of Pittman. Now, granted, I understand that the interim coach is a guy who um, when he's on the sideline, he strikes fear in most opposing defenses. However, that still was an interim coach. So
And they had just fired their entire defensive staff.
yes, there you go. That part. So yeah, that interesting going forward. Uh, but moving on to the next game, moving outside the Southeastern Conference footprint, USC took on Notre Dame. This was a game that was back and forth for a long time until it wasn't. Uh,
Yeah.
USC had a crucial fumble in the game, and it was never the same.
Yeah, I thought USC would win this game, especially after what they did against Michigan. I thought they was kind of turning the corner in terms of like being able to handle the physicality, all that kind of stuff. Uh, Apparently, their defense decided not to make the trip to Notre Dame because Jeremiah Love might be in the Heisman conversation simply because of what he did to USC. And that's a game of epic proportions what he put up numbers wise against USC. So kind of like Miami, maybe not to that same extent, but I don't think I didn't think USC was as good as Miami, but I'm still kind of with the same sentiments is like maybe they're not as good as I thought, and this loss, exposed a lot of kinks that in the armor that I didn't know was there previously. Like, cause they front seven had looked good up until yesterday.
Yeah. Jeremiah Love, 24 carries, one touch, 24 carries, 228 yards, one touchdown. Um, did he do anything receiving wise?
Yeah,
5 catches, 37 yards receiving as well. So
yeah,
yeah.
he
So what's
was
that?
like what 280,
265 yards.
two. Yeah, it was like 270, 280 all purpose or something like that. Yeah, and then the
Yeah.
other running back had a day too
Yeah.
for Notre
Jadarian
Dame.
Price, 13 13 carries, 87 yards, and a touchdown. And then he had one catch for 9 yards. So yeah. I asked a while ago after Notre Dame lost to Texas A&M, were they out of it? I said I think they're done, and you said nah, they still in it. They can just got to win out. And yeah,
That's a good
it's
win. That's a good
interesting.
win for them yesterday, bro. That's a good win.
It is. It's a real good win. The thing that makes this even more interesting is they're doing this with subpar quarterback play.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
The
We'll
interception,
talk about it.
the interception he threw, CJ Carr, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was ugly.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next game. This was actually a really good matchup last night. Utah took on BYU in the Holy War, and it was a matchup that it came down to like the last half of the fourth quarter or second. It was back and forth, and then all of a sudden both teams decided to start scoring, and BYU was able to make some really big plays with that quarterback, the freshman, wearing number 47, which was crazy to me. But
Bear Bachmeyer, baby.
But he made some big did I hear it right? Is that the last game in that stadium? Or
I didn't
something
hear
like
that.
that?
I didn't hear that. You might be right, but I didn't hear that personally.
Yeah.
But that was a epic game, bro. Did you see the swing pass to the Samoan? Like I don't know what position he plays, but big old boy caught a little screen pass, and he went in motion and everything. That dude athletic, bro. It's insane. But
It's great.
I, I I think that game is gonna have some real implications in the Big 12 down the line. Like right now, it might not look like nothing because Utah 2-2 or whatever. But if Utah would have won that game, they right there in the mix with Arizona State, Texas Tech, Houston, all those other teams. But
Yeah.
since BYU won this game, it gives them a leg up on just about everybody in the conference.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we actually gonna get to it. Let me see if that's the next game. Yeah, it is. We're gonna talk about the Texas Tech game, but this game was big. It was another, I guess, cog in the wheel. This was not the first time. This was like one of only 4 times, I think, that both teams have played as ranked teams as well. So yeah, this
something
was
like that. Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying. I'm sorry. I was trying to see if that about that stadium because I thought I kept hearing them say the last game in LaVelle Edwards Stadium. And I was like, why is this the last game? But I don't see anything to back that up. I might have to look that up and see. But anyway, man, it was, dude. This was a old school battle. This holy war. This is something we've seen before, as far as like how these two teams play that gritty, grind it out kind of game.
Mhm.
I'm be honest, man. I love every bit of it, man. It was a fine Pac-12 after dark kind of game. So fine
Yeah,
Pac-12 after.
that's the type of game when you tell me like the Holy War is on my TV. That's exactly what I expected to see. What I got last night.
Yes, sir. Um, but man, you talked about the implications. Yesterday, Texas Tech went to Tempe, took on Arizona State, and left with an L. Texas Tech was running away with the Big 12, but
Until they weren't.
until they weren't. Yeah, they lost yesterday. And that was another back and forth. So uh, it's actually really interesting how that goes because right now, first place, BYU 4-0, Cincinnati 4-0 in the conference. Then you got Arizona State, Texas Tech. Hold on, this thing didn't change my conference. My bad. You got Arizona State, Texas Tech, and Houston all sitting at 3-1.
Yeah.
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 And then Houston takes on Arizona State this Friday at Arizona State. So
I don't remember who I heard say this, but so I don't want to, no disrespect, but um somebody said before the season it looked like the Big 12 was a one team race. Like it was
mhm,
Arizona State then everybody else in a lot of people's eyes.
mhm,
And the SEC was wide open. You had Texas, Georgia, Bama, LSU, Ole Miss, all these teams who could win it or whatever. Now that we halfway through the season, or close to halfway through the season, those two conferences have flipped, and the SEC looks like it's one team and then everybody else, and the Big 12 is anybody can win it.
mhm.
But back to the Texas Tech game, I think obviously down your starting quarterback, you're behind the eight ball to begin with. Playing against the team I just mentioned, everybody thought was going to win the conference to begin the season. So you're already in for a major challenge. I thought they fought and competed very well considering they didn't have their starting quarterback. That defense is as good as advertised. Um I think they definitely kind of stood up to the test that we were wondering, exactly how good they are. I know they gave up like 28 or whatever, but 27, 28,
Yeah,
whatever.
26. Yeah, it was 26-22 was the final score.
26. Okay, yeah, okay. But it wasn't like Arizona State just got things easy on offense. You know what I'm saying? Like it was some field goals, and you know what I'm saying. It was bend but don't break type of defense for Texas Tech, and so I think everything in consideration, I'm not gonna drop them too much or look at them the same way I look at a USC or a Miami because they
Facts.
lost to Arizona State. You know what I mean? And I think later on in the season, when we get time to talk about playoff committee and all that, I think that'll be taken into account with them as well.
Yeah, yeah, completely agree. Texas Tech is a team where everybody, the first thing they mention is, oh, they threw all that money out there NIL wise, but this is a team that looks the way they've been playing, they look like they've been playing together for years. Everybody who they brought in is bought in. Even being down the starting quarterback, they gave themselves a chance to win it and came back from they were down 16 to actually no, it was what did it see 16 19 to 7. in the fourth quarter, and they came out, scored 15 points to put themselves up, 22-19, and then Arizona State came out and scored to take the lead with a little time left on the clock. So it's definitely wasn't some kind of just fluke. 34 seconds, that's what it was. They scored with 34 seconds left. Arizona State did, and yeah, it was over with after that. I like to say that was a considering what we saw earlier that day. That was definitely a really good palate cleanser. Um, it restored my faith in football a little bit. So yeah. But you ready to go ahead and get this out of the way?
I'm good.
All right. All right. Last game of the marquee games, I guess you could say. LSU went to Nashville, take on Vanderbilt, end up losing 31-24. Vanderbilt led from start to finish. They, kind of exchanged. No, I'm sorry, I'm lying. LSU scored first with a field goal. Vandy scored a touchdown, and it was a little back and forth for a while, but Vandy was in control the entire game. This game was ugly from the onsets. Uh, Your offense played probably their most complete game of the season. Still left a little bit to be desired, but they played a really good game. Can't take anything away from them. But your defense, boy, oh boy, your defense let you down big time. Uh, I'm gonna be honest, man. I think it was a little bit of fool's gold. We took on South Carolina last week, uh, and I felt like okay, LSU was able to keep Lenore Sellers in control and 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 not let him run all over the yard. They should be okay with Pavia. They should, I'm not saying it's gonna be the same. I know Pavia gonna get loose, but LSU should be able to at least hold him in check. Wrong. He had 160 yards passing on 14 of 22, 106 yards passing on touchdown, 17 carries, 86 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. As I mentioned, Gary Nussmeier had his one of his best games of the season, as far as pretty much mistake free. He missed some players that but all things considered, I can live with that. If he played like that, all season, I could honestly see us being undefeated. However, on the other side of the ball, your defense let you down big time.
That is very true, my boy. That is very true. And I know the first thing people are gonna say when we talk about the defense performance is, well, you were missing guys on the defense. That's fair. But the problem I have with the defense is the position group that got targeted the most in yesterday's game is the position group that your defensive coordinator, who is the highest paid or one of the highest paid in the country,
Mm-hmm.
that's who he's responsible for. So when you look at the fact that not only did your linebackers get exposed in coverage and in the run game, Vanderbilt was 6 of 13 on third down. Take away one of the third downs because it was basically third and goal, and they kneeled at the end of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm not counting that. So they was 6 of 12 pretty much on third down. You know what that average third down was?
Talking about coming into the game.
No, I'm talking about in yesterday's game. They average distance to go for first down on their
I'm
third
gonna
down.
say I'm saying it's probably gonna be like 4.3 yards.
Very close, 4.8 yards.
I was just making something up. That's crazy.
So they add-
Yeah,
they
well,
they third
on
and
top.
manageable every time they get in third down, pretty much. A couple of them was, third and 12, but most of them third and 1, third and 6. You know what I'm saying? Third and 3. So everything in their playbook is open. And most of the reason that happened is because the defense didn't do their job on first and second down. They gave up big runs on first 6-yard carry here, 5-yard carry here. Little quick pass to the tight end in the first half. That was stealing money in the first half. So I just I'm not ready to throw the defense away by any means. You know what
They
I'm
were due
saying?
for a
But
bad game.
but
I
they
think
were
they have
they
a
were
bad game.
due
Yeah,
for a bad game, and it happened yesterday. And your offense wasn't good enough to overcome and pick up the defense like the defense has done in games this year for the offense. That's the
hmm
difference that was the difference in the performance. Like if you if Nussmeyer connect on that fade route to Barry and Brown on that was that third down when he threw the pass to Trades in the on the right side of the field about 7 yards out, and he I don't know if he called it or not, but we settled for a field goal. Like if
hmm
you throw that fade to Barry on that play, that's 6. On another drive, too much pressure in Nuss face. He got to get rid of it too quick. He can't hit Kyle Parker running up the seam. So like it's it's small execution that the offense is missing, but at the end of the day, most of it is coming from the fact that your offensive line is not given enough time to Nussmeyer to make the throws that he needs to make most of the time. And like if he had another half a second, he could complete that pass to Kyle Parker. If he have another half second, he don't got to rush and throw it to Trades. He can hit Barry on that on on that slot fade. So I just I just feel like the offense is getting better from what I've seen the last few weeks. I think yesterday was the best performance we've seen from the offense and the best performance we've seen from Joe Sloan. But at the end of the day, you got to get better execution. I mean, we've seen two tight ends block the same guy on a screen pass. We've seen Xavier and Barry and Brown with drops. We've seen false starts on the goal line when at the 1 yard line that negated a touchdown. So like
I know. I know
it's
for a fact we've
execution
lost.
every time.
We've. I know for a fact we've lost probably 21 points this season. At least 3 touchdowns on false starts
Yeah.
or something.
Or
Something
illegal
similar.
procedure or something, illegal shift or something like that. But like so yesterday, LSU, I said Vanderbilt average was 3rd and 4 pretty much, right?
Yeah, 4.8.
Yeah,
Yeah,
4.8.
30.
All right. LSU was 5 of 11 on third down. They average was 7.9. So the right at 8 yards a pop. You telling the defense that you gotta throw the ball when you got a third and long every time. If you can get it to 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, third and manageable, so much more your offense becomes available. You're not as predictable. Those defensive linemen aren't just rearing their ears back. I mean, pinning their ears back, getting ready to go rush the passer and playing meet me at the quarterback. You help your offensive line some, but at the end of the day, LSU should not be in this position that they're in when you look at the fact that they've had 5 years of bringing in quote unquote elite talent on the offensive line, for them to be at the point to where your left tackle goes down and you have a guard turn center turn guard playing left tackle. It shouldn't be get to that point at LSU at no point in time. At no point in time should you had a ball at the 1 yard line, you try to make substitutions, end up with 10 guys lining up on offense, so you got to burn the timeout. Then after the timeout, the play after the timeout, you have a false start penalty. At no point in time should that ever happen. This team is not disciplined, and this team doesn't appear to be focused majority of the time when they on the field. And BK can come out here and say what they need to do better as coaches and it's on me and all that. Yeah, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Take the fall for your guys, for your staff and for your players. But at the end of the day, ain't no coach jump off sides. At the end of the day, ain't no coach make the wrong blocking assignment on the play. Ain't no coach drop a pass. So the players got to do their job too.
I'm gonna bring this up so I can just out because I do want to talk about it real quick. I have been going, especially last week, going back and forth with Braden Fehoko, about the whole him calling for Brian Kelly to be fired, and everything. I'll give him credit for this. One thing he has said that I completely agree with. There is a culture issue. I can agree with that. This LSU has not been, and I think that now. While I will say this, the culture issue did not start with Brian Kelly, but it's definitely exemplified and it's or amplified. Excuse me. This team has been soft and less physical going back to 2020. There were times in 2019 we probably could say the same, but winning cures all. It hides a multitude of sins. So one thing I do know about that 2019 team, though, they had a lot of guys in that locker room who knew what it took to get through. There were a lot of guys in that locker room who held each other accountable and weren't so much worried about NIL packages. They had a quarterback who's going to be there sun up, sun down. Hell, might even had a cot in the building. Yeah, coaches that were the same way. So I can agree that there has been a culture shift at LSU, and it's not as physical, it's not as demanding as it used to be. It's not as I'm gonna take the best way I can explain this, bro. There's a difference between being hungry and starving. This team is hungry. They not starving. When you starving, it's so many things that you can go out there and do to make ends meet, to try to do the to make sure you get your next meal. You're gonna grind, you're gonna work hard, you're gonna do it's so many things you're gonna do to make sure this team is not that. This team is a bunch of talented guys that are hungry, that want to make it, but they aren't necessarily putting in that same work. And I can't speak for everybody, but I do, and I'm not going to even call out specific people, but I will say it's been said, the actions. I'm only, saying some people are work from there's a certain time frame they feel like they should work within. Uh, it's for some funny. and I know this might seem like it's all over the place. Rev used to say this all the time. And they talked about preaching. How long service gonna be? I don't preach to a time, I preach to a standard. LSU's not, they're not playing to a standard, they're playing to like a time. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. They're not playing to what it takes to win. They're playing to like, I'm gonna do this because that's what, you know what I'm saying, I think is enough. And that's the issue I have. I still don't agree because I brought it up. I don't agree with, calling out saying we need to fire this person. I understand. I'm also at a point now where I'm like, I'm not gonna fault anybody for wanting that to happen.
I feel like back to the culture issue. I agree that it didn't start with Brian Kelly, but a large part of the reason why Brian Kelly was chosen to be the head coach at LSU when he was chosen to be at LSU was for him to change the culture and get it back to that standard that you were referring to.
Facts.
So far, he has failed at that. I remember about a year ago, one of our buddies and viewers of the show was passing along what he had heard some recruits' parents say about LSU, and that it had become Notre Dame of the South, so to speak. And at the time, I didn't exactly know what that parent was referring to. But now that I look at it, I see what they mean. You competent enough to not make a complete fool out of yourself, but you're not trying to go above and beyond and make and reach the next level. What you are is you the guy at the office who wife got a really, really good job too. So you don't really care about being a manager or getting promoted or nothing like that. You just content with being here. As long as I'm getting some kind of check, I'm good. I ain't finna strive to be the best I can be because I don't have to be. No, nobody's depending on me to go out here and make it to the next level. And so that's the type of attitude I get from this team. Like, yeah, making it to the NFL would be cool, or winning the SEC would be cool, but I'm just having fun playing football. That's the
Real
vibe I
talk.
get. That's the vibe I get from this team. So until until winning becomes more important than having fun, I don't know how much is gonna change for this program. Like, it's cool to be the program that has swag, that does all the cool touchdown celebrations and all that kind of stuff. But I would rather be known for winning than to be known for the school that has fun all the time. So I feel like to circle all the way back to the original point of this, while I do feel like some things Braden Fajoko said were kind of detrimental to the program in a way, but I do feel like he did also have a point in the fact that this ain't the standard and it's not trending towards getting to the standard. And it does look like a different program than what we've seen over the vast majority of the last 25 years as fans. And so while he could have probably said it differently, worded it differently, I think the sentiment he was trying to convey, I think the sentiment he was trying to convey still stands in that the Brian Kelly tenure at LSU has not been successful in what it was supposed to be. Now, yes, he does have better win-loss record than some other coaches, i.e., one who got fired today. But that doesn't mean he's reaching the expectation or the standard that has been set. Two things can be true. Like one meaningful win at LSU, you could argue beating Alabama in 2022 so you could secure the West or whatever and make it to the SEC championship game. But I mean, other than that, I mean, knocking out Clemson this year, yeah, it was big at the time, but it don't look so big now. So it's you can argue that he's done just enough to make himself look competent, but not actually get over the hump, get to that next level. Like he right now he a C student, but everybody know he can make the honor roll. That's what
Mm-hmm.
this program is right now. You doing just enough to
Yeah.
get by when your potential is making the honor roll. You going you C's get degrees. That's your mantra, But when you're capable of being on the dean's list,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna put a pin in this last thing. I probably I have to show grace when it comes to like for Hoko because I have to realize he's still 29. And I understand his sentiment, I understand his passion, but we're both saying, hey, you're right in this aspect. Some of the stuff you doing is still
but you gotta give grace in this sense too. Whenever you like we emotionally invested because we're fans, right? He's more emotionally
yeah.
invested than we are, right? So when you
Oh yeah.
when you throw emotions into it, logic goes out the window to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you don't think rationally when you have that many emotions involved. So I think he's just an outspoken guy who's really emotionally invested in the success of LSU because it changed his life playing for that program. So I think he's just that passionate about it. And sometimes it comes across in a negative way, but I think he means well. It's like that friend you got who want the best for you, but he kind of demean you and telling you that he want the best for
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean? I think that's this type of
Yeah.
situation this is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree with that. We can put a pin in that and we can move on, man. Best of the rest. Some other games from this weekend that stand out.
Oh,
I know.
let's see.
I,
Well, the Florida
you
Mississippi
yeah.
State game was crazy. Um,
Oh man.
and not
That
not
was such
just
a good
not just
game.
the fact that Napier won but still got fired, but it's kind of how he won. If you go back to the very first Billy Napier game at Florida, you remember it?
Mm. Utah,
How
yeah.
did they win that game?
Was it interception at the end? Utah was driving the interception at the end of the game.
How did they
Yeah.
win his last game at Florida?
Mississippi State was driving interception at the end of the game. That's crazy.
But but yeah, I think Florida in a tough spot because we all know Billy hasn't really been successful there, but at the same time, when you look at the schedule that they have had over the past few years, it ain't like he been losing games he should have won. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's true.
it ain't like he got a James Franklin loss to UCLA or Northwestern really on his resume. Yeah, you could say the G5 losses or whatever. Okay, but almost every coach has one of them on his resume. I'm talking about consistently dropping games to teams you ain't supposed to lose to. Like they got a gauntlet that most teams in the country would lose 4 games if they played. So the fact that he lose one more, you know what I mean? They go 7-5 instead of 8-4. I don't think it's, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think they should have tried to keep him for one more year and just see how things went, man. I don't.
I think they're trying to get in on the rat race.
I'm being
It's a
facetious
lot of
as hell,
coaches.
by the way.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of coaches. So what's the guy? Jay Norvell out of
Colorado State.
Colorado State. He was let go as well. Trent Dilfer was let go early, and UAB go out and win. They might have just shook up the CLP playoff race for the Group of Five because Memphis was looking like a clear favorite uh, with what
Not
they
so
have been doing
fast,
so
my
far.
friend.
Yeah, but now that's up for grabs. So that is definitely shaking some things up. Um, Games though, other games like you said, the Mississippi State, Florida, it was such a good game. Um, Houston,
Yeah.
Arizona,
Connor
uh,
Wegman,
dog,
baby.
man, listen, to
A
have
love
watched
hate
that team,
relationship.
last year with the way they performed, they played with so much heart, so much grit, fell short, so, saying certain times. To see them now get to a point where they Vanderbilt game against Texas Tech, and they've responded very well since then. Big win, double digit win over um, Oklahoma State. They were up big yesterday, up by 14. Arizona fought back, and then Houston got the ball and drove downfield, kicked the field goal to win it.
Connor
So
Wegman, baby.
yeah, he has been huge for them this season, and like I said in space, I think he's got to the point where he's now built that rapport with the rest of the wide receiver group and the rest of that team to where it's coming more natural. It's not a forced thing. He's able
Yeah.
to play. He's able to play fluidly without necessarily playing through playing through thought. So
Yeah, I can see that.
big shout out to them. Yeah, big shout out to them. Bowl eligible, 6-1. First time they've been 6-1 since like 2015. Man, it's huge, bro. I'm just enjoying the ride, seeing what we're going bowling. If we can make make a CLP, that'll be huge, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if I'm not
Maybe,
mistaken,
maybe LSU should go hire Willie Fritz.
hey, hey, don't get me started. Um, but yeah, man, I would. It's been huge though. It's been big to see what they've been able to do. Um,
But other games, Texas A&M, Arkansas was a shootout. Arkansas been in a shootout. A lot of games this year. Really, Ole Miss was a shootout for them. Tennessee was a shootout for them. And now A&M, all of them been like one possession games. They just hadn't found a way to figure out how to win those games. They could stay competitive, but they haven't been able to win. Texas, Kentucky, overtime. If Kentucky just kicked the
Kentucky
field
absolutely
goal instead of if Kentucky just kicked the field goal instead of going for it on fourth down, then who knows how that game ends. But
blew it.
Washington State
Um,
gave Virginia everything they wanted too.
they've done
And that
that two
was,
weeks in a row.
yeah, yeah.
2 weeks in a row. That Georgia Tech Duke game was good too. Um,
Drinkwitz
Oklahoma,
versus Freeze was great too. That was a great
yeah,
game.
yes, it was in overtime. Um, two overtimes at that. Uh, what else? What else? Oklahoma and South Carolina.
Yeah.
Oklahoma beat the
So
brakes off South Carolina. That game was
so
actually it wasn't. It was a little bit closer. But go ahead. Go ahead.
no, you can finish.
No, I was just saying that game didn't seem as like a three-score game. That game felt a lot more competitive than that. But
All right, so South Carolina is 3-4 on the season.
mhm.
Okay. Next week They host Alabama.
Mm,
We're gonna call that an L.
yeah.
All right. The following week, first week of November, they go to Ole Miss.
Mm,
We're gonna call that an L.
yeah.
All right. They 3-6. All right. They get a bye week. After the bye week, they travel to College Station.
Hot tomato.
So we're
They
gonna
might
call
be.
that an L.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm leaning towards it. As of
All
right
right.
now, yeah, that's
So
a L.
that's 7 losses.
Yeah, I know. That's
Then
crazy.
then they then they welcome in Coastal Carolina.
I'll give them
Should
an edge.
should win that. All right, you at four and
Shoot,
seven. Last game of the year, you got Clemson.
Clemson. They can win that one.
All right, so you 5-7.
Yeah, that's crazy.
From last year, people saying you should be
Should
considered
have
for
been
the
in the playoffs.
playoffs. This year, you was a sexy pick by some people to be in the playoffs, but at least be competitive in the SEC. And you go
Mm-hmm.
5-7.
Yeah.
If you Shane Beamer, does Virginia Tech start looking more and more appealing with every loss?
Mm.
And I'm
Holy,
not saying he gonna get fired after this season by any means, right? But you remember what Mike White did, the basketball coach? He was at Florida, and they
yeah.
was talking about him being on the hot seat at Florida, right? Like going into the following year, he was gonna be on the hot seat. But Buddy just up and dipped before he was even, before they could fire him.
Yeah.
Could Shane Beamer, if you Shane Beamer, could you be like, man, this year was terrible. If I have another year like this next year, I might be gone. Let me go ahead and start over at Virginia Tech and buy myself a few more years of job security, so to speak.
Yeah. It's definitely something to consider. Um,
That's a,
dog,
that's
if
a
he,
bru-
if
that's a brutal schedule, bro.
yeah, that is golly. Um, man, you got any more games? I think that's all the ones that I saw. Michigan, Washington. Michigan actually.
Yeah,
I'm
they
not
handle
surprised
they handle they
Michigan
handle
won.
business. Yeah, they handle
Yeah, I
business.
wasn't surprised that they won, but that was big. That cross country travel strikes again.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep, because Maryland went to UCLA and couldn't pull it off.
hey, speaking of, I meant to say that you talked about James Franklin losing to UCLA and Northwestern. Them losses ain't looking too bad now. I mean, they bad, look bad, but they not looking as bad. Northwestern is 5-2, 3-1 in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah, but that's a bad loss, man. Come
I
on,
know.
bro.
I'm
They
just
was
saying.
20 plus point favors, man.
I get that.
Northwestern in the Big Ten has beaten Purdue, who
Hmm.
is who has won 2 games on the season,
Hmm.
and they've beaten Penn State,
Hmm.
obviously, and then they've beaten UCLA before they fired Deshaun Foster.
Mm, yeah,
I mean, that's 3 wins. I give you that, but those 3 wins ain't really impressive.
yeah. UCLA is 3-1 in the conference as well.
Yeah, but yeah, one of
Oh,
those came.
yeah. Speaking
But
of
that
Penn State,
that loss came before they fired the coach too.
yeah. Speaking of, Iowa beat Penn State
By
barely,
1 point.
24,
Yep.
20, 25.
Yep. Crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Other than that, Pitt beat the brakes off Syracuse. New Mexico beat Nevada. Oregon State got their first win on the season after they fired their head coach. But they beat Lafayette. So go figure. And then, we didn't talk about it. I know Troy was in here.
Mm, mm,
Florida
mm,
State.
mm, mm, mm,
Florida State losing
mm,
to
mm, mm,
Stanford.
mm, mm, mm.
Got to be more careful. All right, man. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back to talk some NFL football. We'll be back in 1 minute.
W is a powdered energy drink aimed at gamers and individuals seeking focus and energy. It's known for its clean ingredients, no jitters, and various flavors. W is also available in a hydration formula for those needing electrolyte. W achieves its smooth, effective focus with a high-end tasting experience while using no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Try W today by scanning the QR code you see on the screen or visit them on the website at bit.ly/no-chill-W. W, your taste buds' favorite energy drink.
All right, we are back. NFL today, man. I mentioned earlier, the Rams beat up on the Jaguars over in England. Got the win 35-27. Saints lost to the Bears 26-14. Dennis Allen revenge game. The Browns, the Browns beat the ever-loving crap out of the Dolphins 31-6. The Patriots beat the Titans 31-13. Eagles outlasted the Vikings 28-22. The Chiefs in a game, no, I ain't even know the game was even on. But the Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-0.
Yeah.
Panthers kept the Jets winless with a 13-6 win. The Colts beat the Chargers 38-24. The Packers beat the Cardinals 27-23. The Cowboys beat the Commanders 44-22. And in the game of the day, so far, unless this Atlanta game just turned out to be some, but the Broncos beat the Giants 33-32.
Yeah, choke job by the Giants. But Tua
Kickers.
Tua can't play in cold weather. That's evident. And I wonder who he gonna throw under the bus. They go, I thought he scored. I wonder who he gonna throw under the bus after this loss, because that seems like all he does week after week is find a new way to insult his teammates. Who else? Let's see. The Chiefs, Rashee Rice back. They about to turn up. I said it last week. I think they're gonna struggle for a week or two more till they get Rashee back, and then once he get back, they turning up. It just the Raiders are that bad. Geno Smith on offense is I don't even know the words to describe how bad it is.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams looked really good this early this morning across the pond over there, but the Jaguars,
Yeah.
man, they so up and down. They too inconsistent for me to think that they can really be a threat. But I don't know if they could really win their division anyway. The way Indiana playing or Indianapolis playing, the Colts, Daniel
Facts.
Jones, and not just Daniel Jones, but Jonathan Taylor. The way he running that thing right now,
And
he
that
probably should
defense too.
be in MVP conversation. The Cowboys, Commanders, they
They like the 49ers right now. They have
yeah,
like literally
they more
patchwork.
banged up than anybody, bro. And then Jaden goes down, so they really didn't stand a chance whenever you got Mariota throwing the practice squad guys pretty much. But Dak and that offense, explosive, bro. If their defense could be
Number one offense
anything,
in the NFL too right now.
if their defense could be anything average, decent, then they're gonna be a problem. The Eagles look like they figured out that passing situation they had between AJ and Devontae. They went off today. And Hurts had a pretty good game. I don't know about the Vikings, bro. They quarterback gonna hold them back. whether it's Wentz or McCarthy. They got a
Okay.
lot of weapons. They defense top notch, but if you ain't got the signal caller, none of that other stuff matters. Um, who else played today? The Saints are the Saints. Spencer Rattler, worst game of the season, arguably. I know he had 2 decent drives. Chris Olave silenced some haters this week, but their offense was bad. And Dennis Allen made Spencer Rattler look like a rookie. And then the Saints defense can't stop the run at all. They so soft. Look like LSU defense. Um, it's pretty bad. The Panthers and the Jets. Aaron Glenn, I feel bad for you, brother. You bench Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor ain't the answer either. So I don't know what you gonna do up there, but y'all really might be on that 0-17 train, and it might be getting faster and faster downhill towards 0-17 if if y'all don't figure something out quick. Because the
They
Panthers
need,
wasn't all great today,
yeah.
and
Oh,
the
they need to play the Dolphins like 4 times this season.
they need to play the Dolphins in December in in
Yeah.
in in New- in New Jersey, and then they might have a chance to win. Tua might throw 6 picks, but oh man, it just look bad out there, bro. It looked
Yeah.
really bad out there.
Hey, we one day we gonna have to have a serious conversation about Bo Nix, bro.
What about them?
I might have to. I might hate to admit it, but he might be cause seeing how I think the best thing he ever did was transfer from Auburn to Oregon, cause it's
Hmm.
like his career has been so much better ever since then. And
Well, I mean, anybody who played for Brian Harsons ain't gonna really be too successful.
he was on the Gus a year.
Yeah, and that was his best year at Auburn.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. But he has been like he been so damn good. Like with Sean Payton, that
That's the
was
key. Sean Payton, quarterback whisperer, man.
it's like so if I'm thinking quarterback whisperers, I'm going Andy Reid,
Hmm.
Kyle Shanahan, Sean Payton.
That's fair.
The only reason why I put Shanahan above what's because I've seen him literally take coal and make diamonds. The only one I didn't see him do it with was Trey Lance, but I've seen him take, who was it? Jimmy G, Purdy, now Mac Jones. He had well Matt. I mean Matt Ryan wasn't bad at all, but Matt Ryan had some of his best years.
Well, he was the MVP with Shanahan.
Exactly my point. So
That's fair. Sean Payton, Sean Payton just now kind of. I
because
mean,
he was with
you
Drew.
can, I
So
mean, Drew, but at the same time, he won. Like he made Teddy look when
that's
he
true
had
too.
Teddy for them few games. You know what I mean? Like he was doing it with different guys in the same season. I think he won. I think he was undefeated without Drew Brees with like 3 different quarterbacks or 2 different quarterbacks in the same season.
Yeah.
So I think and then what he was able to do with Jameis before he got hurt the last year in New Orleans, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he was well on his way to being a reclamation project under Sean Payton. So I think them the 3 guys, maybe McVay as well.
Yeah, that's
Uh
fair.
I think them 3. But yeah, I think I think Knicks their division is loaded at quarterback, but he battling for the number 2 spot with Herbert.
Even behind Mahomes.
Mahomes number one.
Oh, you saying he battled with Herbert for number 2? I thought you were saying he's battling for number 2, and Herbert was 1. I get what you're saying.
No,
I
no,
understand
no.
what
He battling
you're
for
saying.
the number 2 spot
Spot.
with Justin Herbert. Yeah.
Gotcha. Also, I was impressed with Jackson Dart too in this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
He solid. He got some grit to him. I like what he's been able to do.
Yep. I think the Giants defense is good to great in the front seven, especially the pass rush D line. That secondary, 2020 LSU.
Mm. Which is ironic
Yeah,
because
yeah. Because
Flop was on that 2020 LSU team too. It's hilarious. I can see
but
it.
that Phillips kid though, man, they attacked that boy all game.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you somebody else who has surprised me. Just because I didn't think they'd be able to do it at this level. Um, Travis Hunter.
Got his touchdown today.
He got his touchdown today, but he also they put him in like the first rep he got at cornerback. He was guarding Devontae Adams, and they went at him, and he had a beautiful pass breakup on a well placed pass too. So, we ain't talk about it. Thursday's game, the Icy Hot Bowl. With Aaron Rodgers versus Flacco. That was a good
That was
game.
the second oldest matchup between starting quarterbacks in NFL history.
Really?
You know who the oldest is?
I'm going to. Oh, you know what? Drew Brees versus Tom Brady in the playoff was the last. Yeah.
Yep, that is correct. That is correct.
Yeah.
But so the first time Flacco and Aaron Rodgers played, do you know when that was? What year it was?
I'm trying to think who was Flacco first team? Was
The
it the
Ravens.
Ravens?
Yeah.
I don't even know what year that was. 2010.
Real close. Real close. It was 2009, like December, November 2009. Yeah. They faced each other in 3 different decades.
Wow. That's something.
The first time they played, there was no such thing as Uber. The first time they played, there was no such thing as what Instagram and all that. None of that existed. But yeah, they both balled out too though. They both balled out.
Yeah,
And not just those two guys, but Jamar Chase, man. He tied Michael Thomas for tied for 9th all time with most catches in a single game with 16. Like he was incredible. Joe Flacco like F it Jamar over there somewhere.
Yeah, Flacco threw for 342, bro. 31 to 47, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had it. And that's the thing is you got to give him credit for routinely getting the ball out of his hand as quick as he did, because we know the Bengals offensive line ain't that good. And we've seen Joe get demolished year after year, week after week behind that same offensive line. So for him to be able to not really get touched much, you know what I mean? It shows his IQ
and to find some elusiveness.
Yeah, he pulled it on the RPO, got 12 yards. If only LSU had a quarterback that could do that.
Yeah. The it's funny because Mike Tomlin, when it happened, when Cleveland traded, Mike Tomlin was so angry with the Browns, and it shows
Now we
why
see
because
why. Yeah.
he was like, I've never seen anybody
Trade the starter.
trade their week one starter for
Especially in
to
division.
into a divisional rival.
Yeah, that's the thing. You did it in division, bro. That's the crazy part. But this the thing. So this the thing. If you look at the Bengals division, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh leading 4-2. Cincinnati in second place at 3-4. Baltimore is last at 1-5. If you Cincinnati, look at your next few games coming up. You got the Jets next. That's a
Mm,
win. That's a win. You got the Bears coming to your place. Winnable. You got the Steelers again. Winnable. Then you got the Patriots. That's gonna be tough. But then you got the Ravens. Winnable.
winnable, especially the way they've been
You got
playing.
the
Yeah,
you got the Bills. That's gonna be kind of tough. Then you got the Ravens again, winnable. Dolphins, winnable. Cardinals, winnable. Browns, winnable.
you might make
So
the
if,
play.
if Burrow can come back from that foot injury,
Mm-hmm.
you could be setting yourself up to be wild card, possibly fighting for the division with a healthy Joe Burrow coming back, completely healthy for the playoff push.
Yeah, that's wow, bro.
In a in a
If
in a AFC where there doesn't look like a dominant team. The Bills look very suspect.
also, mm-hmm.
The Baltimore was the other team to beat in the AFC. They terrible right now. The Chiefs, they are the Chiefs, but this might be one of the weakest Chiefs teams we've seen, especially on defense the past few years. Their defense don't look as top notch as it has the past couple years. Like who the other team in the AFC? The Colts.
Broncos maybe, Colts and
I mean, yeah,
Broncos.
yeah. I mean, but
Yeah,
if you the Bengals, you're not looking at them too like with a healthy Burrow that we just ain't got a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. I completely agree. Completely agree. Um, Ironically, that game, if the Steelers would have won, and I know you heard it, everybody heard it. If they would have won, they would have had a 3-game lead in the
yeah,
division.
right. That's what I'm saying. By them winning that game, they cut it to it's really a 2-game lead. But the division record is both 3-1. I mean that division record, Cincinnati undefeated in the division. So when it come down later on to some of these tiebreakers, you know what I mean? You could be what? You could be 9-8 going into the last game of the season. I mean 9-7 going into the last game of the season. And if you win it, you got the tiebreaker and you number one, you win the division or whatever. So you hosting a home game in the playoffs
Yeah.
at 10-7. You know what I'm saying? Or 9-8 or whatever.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's be interesting.
Yeah. Before we leave football, man, I want to say my condolences to Doug Martin, who
Thanks.
former Tampa Bay Buccaneer,
Yeah.
passed away, age of 36. Also, we hadn't talked about it, but Rudy Johnson, man, as well. I remember Rudy from the Auburn days. Went on to play for the Cincinnati Bengals. I think that was like a week or two ago. Passed away. So, man, it's hate to see it, bro.
Yeah.
Hate to see it. But anything else in football?
Nah.
Yeah. Um, Major League Baseball. Before we get ready to get up out of here,
The GOAT. That what you want to talk about?
Shohei. Yeah, we can talk about Shohei. I'll let you go ahead and talk about him.
No, it's just the greatest the greatest single game performance in sports history.
Facts.
Not
Facts.
only what he accomplished being the first player to ever do that or whatever, but the stage it was on to go to the World Series. I mean, I just you'll never see it again, bro. It's he
Just think, we almost didn't see it, but his translator took the fall. That's the
now
goat right
you see why they made him take the foul, huh?
there. Yes, sir. Oh,
Right,
yes,
right,
sir.
right. Exactly, bro. Like he hit. There's only two pitchers in Major League Baseball history to have two postseason home runs in their career, and he had three in one game. On top of the 10 strikeouts. Then, like, if you look at the amount of players who's had the game where they've thrown that many strikeouts and had that many home runs or whatever, you won't
Hmm.
find it. Like, there's nobody even comes close to the game he had. Like, I don't know how you really can compare what he did to like another sport. Like I told my homeboy it would be like you going out there and getting 10 catches, 250 yards, three touchdowns, and then getting, you know, three picks and a pick six for one. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
there's no way you can compare it to nothing. Like there's only been 12 hitters in the history of Major League Baseball that hit three home runs in a postseason game. So you won at 12. All right. And then on the other side, there's only been 26 pitchers to record 10 strikeouts, two hits or less, and no runs in the same in a postseason game. So you won a 12 on one side, you won a 26 on the other side, and you did it both in the same game, bro.
that's wild.
Like you couldn't do that on MLB The Show.
Mm-mm. So let me ask you this: as a Dodgers fan, right now it looks like this going to a game 7. Toronto is up 5-0 on the Mariners right now. Who do you want to see? Who would you rather see, Seattle
So
or Toronto?
so I said this to Fox on Friday. You remember the Super Bowl
Which one?
this year?
Yeah,
You remember the halftime show?
yeah.
Can you imagine the first game of the World Series? Kendrick Lamar comes out because you have LA versus Toronto.
Mm, mm. Oh no,
That's the matchup I'm rooting for.
you really gonna do it?
That's give me Toronto versus LA one more time.
Petty Murphy, everybody. Petty Murphy. All right, but you got anything else before we get ready to get out of here?
Uh no, we can say the basketball talk for another day.
When does the season start?
For what?
Basketball, NBA. This is getting ready to start.
Like next week, I think. Week after, something like that.
Okay, I know it's getting ready to start. So
Yeah.
yeah. High school football winding down. Man, I didn't talk to you about it. Dylan last game, man. He we lost. He was hurt. He was like boo hoo hurt, like because he was like I feel like I let the team down. It's like you can't put that all on yourself. But I'm gonna tell you, as a father, I watched several coaches walk up to him, opposing coaches, and tell him how good he was and how um, the competitiveness and saying just stay with it and stuff. And it was like, hey, we really had to respect you. You're a dog and stuff like that. So man, it meant a lot to me. Um, like I said, as a father, as a coach, um, I've seen this team grow year in and year out from a team that couldn't win a game, from a team who couldn't score to a team who couldn't win a game to a team who was in a playoff race. So that's big, man. That's big. So
Yeah. Kudos to y'all, man. Kudos to y'all. I had my proud dad moment this week too, but we ain't
yeah,
gotta get into it. But yeah, that was. I know how I feel to be shedding a little tears because you're proud of the little one.
yeah. And I had a proud uncle when you said that. It was a proud uncle moment, man.
Man, I was so like, and we just sitting here watching the game on Thursday night or whatever, and he just on his hand just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like I was so shocked by it that I couldn't even like think to grab it, like record it or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So like nobody really believed me until until my wife was like, "Yeah, I heard him." You know what I mean? Like I had to wake her up. Like, yeah, it's hopefully that's just the start of it. But yeah, it was a
Yeah,
cool moment,
it
man.
will be, man. It will be, man. Big things coming. Bam in the building. Watch out.
Yeah, if he already a handful, he start talking. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
It's over with. Yeah. So, but all right, man. Let's go ahead and get out of here. We'll be back. It might be next week. But we'll be back, man. Bring you the latest and greatest and try to get a little bit more consistency. We getting into that part of the season, so uh, y'all know what time it is. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Bell. Like that, we out.